What's going on, guys? New week, new video, and this week we're going to dive into the transmission. Like I said last week, Jimmy, huge shout out to you. Appreciate this transmission, man. I'm actually cleaning up the outside of it right now, and I got about 90% of it done. Really just kind of checking for any type of cracking or anything like that. But mainly I want it to look nice. So I got it cleaned up with the wire brush, got screwdrivers, scraped out all the crevices as much as I can. It looks pretty good. So I'll show you what's going on here. All right, so there we go. Got the wire brush on the grinder. Definitely did a good job on getting a number of that crap off. As far as crevices, got in there as far as I could in a lot of these places. And honestly, this transmission being stored, whoever did it did a pretty damn good job, because I sealed off these lines. Not sure if that was intentional or not whenever they cut it, but they are sealed. And whenever I actually took this to the car wash and I sprayed it off, I tipped it over, and there was very, very clean pinkish reddish fluid coming out of this output shaft. So that looked really good. Now I do have a seal for the output shaft, and I have one for the input shaft. Now the filter I don't have, but I am going to go ahead and pop the pan off. I want to take a look at the filter and just kind of get a good idea what we're dealing with. The filter is ordered, so that's not a big deal. We'll have that coming. So, but we're gonna pop these seals off, take a good look at it, see what we got going on. All right, I popped the pan off. Now looking at this, now all this debris, that is not metal. It's actually almost like a mud. So that could have been pushed in there from whenever I was washing it or anything else like that. You know, that's not that big of a deal. Now, as far as this filter, it is not actually where it needs to be, which isn't a bad deal. I mean, We do have a little bit of a metallic color right here, but that's not the end of the world. Let's go ahead and pop this off right here. Okay, pop our filter off. Now looking at this, we're going to be looking for any type of metal shaving that we can. So again, we have that kind of metallic color. That's okay. You know, a lot of these transmissions, pans, whatever you get into, you'll have that. You'll have a little bit of shavings, which is not that big of a deal because you're constantly wearing on these transmissions anyways. So, but we're looking for big chunks or anything that's very abnormal. And we look pretty damn good, honestly. So I did cycle through all the gears just with my hand, which isn't, you know what I mean, it doesn't tell you everything, but it does say that it goes in the park and everything else like that, like parking pin works. So, but we do have a couple little pieces here that are a little weird actually. Let me grab this. I'm not sure what this one is. Kind of curious here. I'm not too sure yet. Man. Hang on one second. All right, I grabbed a pair of pliers and I squished it. And some sort of nut. All that is vegetation. More you know. Transmission sat a while, maybe something was trying to grow up in it, but who knows? Here we go. So, got the transmission. It's actually in the garage right now. Got it cleaned up, changed the filter, put the new seals in it, everything else like that, so we're good to go. I did go ahead and lay it under here, and I'd kind of taken a glance on where I need to cut on this firewall. And the way that I did it, I actually set the transmission right here, pulled it out this way on the jack, lifted it up, and then got down here about eye level just to see where my bell housing is. So I'm going to be cutting just about that much out. So I'm going to be referring back to my picture while I cut this. but it should be pretty simple. The only downfall is that we have a hump right here, so whenever I cut it, it's not going to look completely flat. Now, what I can do is cut this whole section out. Just cut the entire thing out and then put a piece of flat steel. I could do that. But I kind of like the look of the actual firewall, so we're going to leave it. So the idea is to take out just about that much. So we're just going to cut it and just see what happens. Be a lot easier that way. No stress in trying to measure anything, just cut the damn thing. I'm waiting on a couple electrical things as far as the tail lights and the turn signal switches, so we're waiting on that. But for the time being, right down there, I want to stitch some more on this car. So just like I did on the doors and right here, I want to do some more stitching. So we're going to go all the way across the top of this cab. So that's what we're kind of messing with today. All right, got the top roll done. That turned out freaking sweet. I love it. I really did like these stitches, you know, but I just needed more. I don't know if I'm addicted with them or what, but man, they look cool. So, this is this side done. Actually, it's time for me. I need to go get the boy. So we are gonna call it a day there. As far as being the passenger side. So now we still got the driver's side to do over here, and we'll cover up this just like we did the other side. So I will get some more wire hangers cut, get some more pieces, and I'm actually still debating whether or not I want to go up here or not. Not 100% sure. We'll figure that out then, but for the time being, I need to get this side done. Now, the reason why I'm doing all this right now is because I'm still waiting on whether or not I'm going to get the engine. It's not 100% sure. I don't know. But the transmission, it's ready to rock. The front tires, I need to take those off, get those fixed up. They'll be done. But other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. What's up, guys? New day. And I've actually been out here working on the stitching and everything for the driver's side. I got most of it done. I actually just lack a little bit more, but I got the corners ground down, and all I gotta do is just cut more, some more hanger. So we'll mess with that probably later tonight if I get a little bit of time between dinner and everything else. But for the time being, I have tail lights and a turn signal switch coming tomorrow. So I need to prepare getting the taillights in. Now, the taillights are going to be LED strips, and you'll have a running light and they have a turn signal. So it's actually built in along with it, I guess. But the idea with that, I don't want to just put the strips on the back of the cab. I actually want to French them in and then put stitching over that too. So the idea with that is I need to cut out an area to where these lights are going to go. Now the ad says that they're 24 inches long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 24-inch holes. And if they're longer, that's fine. I'll just have to cut a little bit more. So it's not a big deal. But we're going to go ahead and get that marked out and actually go ahead and cut the cab today, because either way, that's what I'm going to run. So I'm going to air up the tires. Still haven't fixed tires. Haven't even messed with it. I'll let it down, air them up, and then roll it out a little bit and kind of give you guys an idea of what we got going. So, yeah. Here's my idea. So, now that I got the tank in the way, I don't want to run just regular taillights. So that's why I came up with the idea of the LED strips, because I like the length of it to be able to actually have that light. And it's a little bit more modern, but it's going into a 100-year-old car. So, 96-year-old car. Anyways, so now I got an 18-inch piece of just square tubing. Now, let me give you an idea here. So we got 24-inch strips. But after looking at that, I don't really want to go up that high. Now these strips, they said that they can be cut every 3 LEDs. So that being said, I could cut them down to 18 inches, the size of this bar. So I'm actually thinking about just running my lights right there. There'll be one on each side. And then for the brake lights, I can actually get some circle or some round cone lights. I actually had them on the Volkswagen. It'll be a lot easier to show you. I'll get some ordered, and we'll go ahead and use that as a brake light. But as of these right here, we'll have the LED strip go inside of this, and then we'll have the brake light right here. Now, that's 18 inches compared to 24 inches. Personally, I think the 24 inches go way too high. So we're definitely just going to cut an 18-inch area and call it good. So what I'm going to do is measure 2 inches off of this. This is where the seam is, and then you also have another, I guess that's not really the seam. You have, okay, yeah. So you got your bar here, and then you got a structural piece that's behind this. And this is only one layer, so it should be pretty simple to cut. I'll just cut down here, probably 3 inches below this and 2 inches to the side. So that'll put my lights right about there. Let's try it. Well, you know, right now it looks awful. But you can't be afraid to cut this metal. I mean, if you're going to commit on building something like this, you can't be afraid of crap like that. So, all right. Now the only thing I need to do is make something on the back of this. And it's going to be indented to where I can actually hold the light in. And then I will get a cover, whether it be Lexan or whatever. I'll find something to cover that. And then we will we'll get this set in. So anyways, yeah. As far as that square tubing, I actually think I can use some 1x2, and instead of cutting down the side of a piece of square, I can cut down the center of a 1x2, and that will actually give me 2 open ends, and it'll be 1 inch deep by 1 inch wide, which is exactly what these holes are. Now the only part about this that kind of sucks is I have to bend that tubing to match this body, because this body is not straight. So I've actually taken one of these old pieces and I have kind of flattened it out, and it actually meets that body line to the back of this car. Now I'm going to take this, and whenever I get a little bit of time, I'll go ahead and cut that 1x2 in half, and then heat it up with a torch and get it to that shape. So once I do that, I'll find a way that I can actually attach it to the body, and once it's attached to the body, then I'll be able to mount the light and do everything else. So that's the idea. That's what we're going to try and do anyways. So yeah, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. I'm pretty much done for the night, so see you then. All right, guys, we're back at this thing today. Actually finished the stitching. Oh, that's good. So, let's see. What did I do? Lights. They're still not here, which is a big bummer because I really wanted to get those wired in and actually see them work tonight. But with things going on towards the end of the week, this is going to be last night that I'm actually going to be able to work on the car. But we did get a couple things done, and I'll show you what we got going on here. All right, so we had these cut out, and I had taken some 1x2 square tubing, and I had taken that and cut it down the center of it. So now I have a 1x1 C-channel, basically. And then I had actually taken an old barrel, kind of like an oil barrel, and I cut out 20-inch pieces. And this is the width of the duct tape, so it actually gave me about 3/8 to a 1/4 inch, 3/8 to a 1/2 inch overhang on each one of these. And I tack welded it on the back side, just a bunch of different little spots, spot welded it, I guess. And this will sit down just like that. In the car it goes. So now, I basically have Frenched an area to put my LED. And once the LED is in there, I'll either cover it with some Lexan or just paint over the light. And then these, of course, they'll be rusted, and then I'll have the stitching, just like that. We'll go over the top of these. So it should look pretty decent. As far as holding these in, I think I'm just going to take me a screw on the top and bottom, or probably a bolt, and just keep those to where they actually hold in. And if I ever need to take this out to replace a light or do anything else like that, it's super simple. Just take out the 2 bolts, and it should come right out. Other than the fact that I'll have all the spider web over it. So other than that, I mean, we can just cut that crap. It's not a big deal. These LEDs, they should last a while, especially for what I'm doing with the car. I mean, they will be used constantly, don't get me wrong, but LEDs will 110% last longer than incandescent. So the other side, I gotta smooth up the area to be able to put that one in. And once that's in, we'll get these screwed in and just hopefully the lights show up. I'm really wanting to get these done before we take off for the week. So anyways, I'm going to be jacking with that stuff. Get her did. So they're bolted in. Now, actually just took this spray bottle. I got a mixture of peroxide, vinegar, and salt. So it's 50-50 on the vinegar and the peroxide, and then I just put like a spoonful of salt. All I do, spray the metal, and it's actually got to be ground down pretty shiny. So doing that, it's actually going to rust those out, and it should match the cab a little bit better. And then whenever I put the spider webs over it, it should give it a lot of contrast. So I just got to let that dry, and hopefully the lights show up. So that's what we're waiting on. All right, guys. So the lights did not show up last night. I got about 20 minutes that I can actually hammer down on this thing. But the lights did come in, and I did go ahead and put them in. So I got both sides in, and I'm actually about to do the stitch welding real quick. And then all I'm going to do is put a little bit of power to them so you guys get an idea what they look like. So I am going to paint over these with the, there's a kind of like an auto shades paint. It's like a spray paint. It's real thin, so I'll put that over these lights. That way it kind of blacks them out. I really don't like the white showing. So, but I'll get those, and then I'm going to go ahead and weld these real quick. So. All right, that's badass. Like I said, these are gonna be black. But man, that looks good. I really had my doubts at first, I'm not gonna lie, but that looks pretty sweet. All right, let me hook them up to the battery real quick. So I actually just got a rigged up here. I just got to hook the power up. You're not gonna be seeing the turn signals or any of that for the time being, because I got wire in the switch and everything else, and I just do not have the time today. That is kick ass. Damn. I really like that. Not too bad at all. Other than that, guys, we got, progress done this week. So, transmission and tail lights. Doesn't sound like much, but to be able to drive down the road, pretty important things. So, other than that, didn't do much. I still have some work to do on the tail lights. I got a 3-way switch I'll put in the dash. There's just a rocker switch. And it will be for the left and right turn. And as far as a brake light, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I've talked about it a couple times, and I'm just not too sure. So we'll figure out that one later on, whether it be next week or next month. We'll figure something out. Yeah, other than that, that's it. I really tried rushing this. Kind of like rear light deal, because I wanted to be on this week's video, because the rest of the week is going to be pretty hectic. So other than that, I will see you guys next week, and I appreciate you guys watching. See ya.